One reason a lot of men are single is because they didn't have their stuff together at the right time. And this says a lot about society, it says a lot about female nature, it says a lot about the foundation of what relationships really are, which is sad. Not about love. Not about love. It's about, you know, money. It's about lifestyle, which I understand. I get it. I want a better lifestyle too. I'd like more money as well. I totally understand that. But I separate those things from love. What women do is they incorporate those things into love. Well, I can't love him if he's not making a certain amount of money. I can't love him if he's not providing a certain type of lifestyle for us. I can't love him if he doesn't have a certain social status, or if he doesn't have certain, you know, traits about him that are masculine and strong. And so it leaves no, which is funny because women, it leaves no room for, it's like the specific pigeonhole, you know archetype that they want. And it leaves no, it's ironic because it leaves no room for, you know inclusiveness, which is crazy because it's like women are the ones who are all like, oh, we're all about equality. you know well, where's your equality when it comes to love? Where's your equality when it comes to relationships? you know you don't have that type of love that you think people should have for you. You think people should accept you and love you as a woman and treat you equally, but that's not how you treat men. You don't treat men that way, right? So a lot of men don't have the timing right, in the sense that a lot of men don't have their finances together. They don't have, and this is what women want. They want the guy who's responsible, who's paying bills, who's got his stuff together, which is understandable. It's understandable. And then I'd also pepper in some gold digger, motivations in there, right? Oh, he needs to have a really nice car because I just like that. I want to drive around in a nice car. He needs to be able to have spending money to take me to do this and that. Like, this is what women want. And I get it. Like, I get it. Yeah, okay. It'd be cool to go out to restaurants and spend $100, $200. Nowadays, restaurants, you can easily spend $300 at a lower end restaurant. It's how insane the world's gotten. But okay, once a month, let's go to a fancy restaurant and dine out, and do this event and do this and spend all this money. People can spend $1,000 on that a month, and it's like, this is what people want, which I understand. I get it. But the problem is that you're mixing that in with your wanting a woman, or wanting a man. Women are doing this, so they're including those things with love, right? And you could, and I've made this argument, and you could observe it and say, well, it's female nature because they want to secure, a providership home and protection. And money in today's world is protection and it's power and it's right. So you could make the argument that, well, that's what women need because whatever reason they're weaker, or they, want to have kids, so they need the man to be able to, which is understandable, and that probably has a lot to do with it. That probably is at its core. But again, what's the definition of love, right? And the definition of love is unconditional. It's not, and you can even argue that, are there conditions on love? How should the man treat you? How should the woman treat you? Yeah, you need boundaries, you need, right? But it's when you mix in materialism and you mix in, greed and things like that, and also you could call it prostitution, which I have many times. It's prostitution. You're bartering with intimacy, bartering with sex to get, to get the man, to get the relationship, and to get the lifestyle that you want out of the man. So a lot of men just don't have their stuff together at the right time, and in a sense, that's a blessing, because you got people out here like Travis Hunter, that football player, who stupidly hooked up with that girl and married her, and she rejected him until she realized he was a superstar, and then they got married recently. So that's going to be a divorce at some point, and it's just weird. It's just so you got women out here who are predators and who are preying on men who are young, and so it's a blessing to be left out of that, because it's like, oh, you don't want me because I don't have any money. Well, good, because I don't want a woman who wants me for money, right? And then you got these weirdo simps and these quote unquote wannabe alpha male dudes who are like, well, you're supposed to provide because that's what men do. Yeah, and then you get taken advantage of by gold diggers. You get taken advantage of by women who wouldn't give you the time of day if you didn't have money. Again, it's not love, right? So a lot of men just don't have it. They don't have, you should have it together by 25, as far as, bottom line, being able to afford an apartment, with your girlfriend or wife, and then live your life. And if you want kids or you want extra stuff or whatever, plan for it financially, but you should have it together. And even 25 you should have it together hopefully by 24 or 23, because it's like you graduate college at 22 or whatever, but you should be young, right? But the problem is we just live in a world that's freaking hard. We live in a world that's freaking difficult as hell to survive and to live a decent life, because of money limitations and limitations on this and that. And we're living in a slavery system that's enslaving people to finances, right? And it's a system that is not nice. It's a system that's not helpful to young people, to people who don't know what the hell they want to do with their life, to people who might have great talents if they were put in the right position or had the right opportunities, but there's just these shitty cookie cutter jobs, shitty hours, shitty pay, and it's just slavery. The world is messed up, right? So it's not uncommon for a young person of 25 to not have their shit together in today's day and age. In fact, I would say it's probably statistically more common than not. And so you got women out here who are looking at guys at that age, and they're like, man, these guys don't have their stuff together, da-da-da-da. But these same women are out here sleeping around. They're out here chasing after rich men. They're out here exchanging sexuality, sexual favors for men who have yachts. They're getting flown out to Dubai. It's like, first of all, ladies, your behavior does not warrant you to have a relationship. Your character, your lack of character, how horrible you are in general, just messed up women, right? Who have got a high body count, STDs, and you could be like, oh, well, that shit's common. If you're out here having sex, you're probably going to have herpes at some point. If you're out here having sex, you're probably going to get genital warts at some point, or whatever, right? These things are actually a lot more common than people realize. If you're sexually active and you have multiple partners in I'd say a couple year period, like, you're at risk, man. I mean, anyway. So you got women out here who just have terrible characters, who think they're God's gift to the world, who think that they're just these, unbreakable queens, right? Indomitable fortress of a woman. They all think they're just the bee's knees, and it's like, you don't even know which way is up. You don't even know what a good character is, what righteousness is, how to tell the truth, how to treat somebody in a relationship. These are values that people have to work on, and they're values that people have to be taught. These are values that need to be instilled through education, and it's not. We're failing our women, and in turn failing our men. So it makes absolute sense. It's like guys aren't getting it together these days until they're 40 or 50 or whatever. And it's like, that's just the world we live in. And so a lot of guys are just timed out. They're sitting around waiting around for some woman to come, and it ain't going to happen because they don't understand how the world is. And then there's people who are like, oh, they understand how the world is. Like, I got to go work for it. I got to go, have a living to get a woman or whatever. And these guys can't do it because they don't have a good enough job, or they're getting edged out because they're not the top 10%. And there's always going to be so women are just becoming these harems. They're just joining harems. They're just sleeping with high value men, really good looking guys, or really in shape guys, or guys who have a lot of money, or guys who are have social status, who are famous or whatever. And this has become our culture. Our culture is no longer, oh, let's get married, let's fall in love, let's have kids, let's do this family thing because that's great and it's rewarding. That's no longer taught. That's no longer instilled. They certainly don't teach it at school. I mean, maybe in storybooks and in movies and stuff, but even then, it's just so dark. It's such a dark world. Movies and music and books, they're so dark, So what's encouraging women to live a good life? What's encouraging women to be moral? Nothing. They have every advantage to be promiscuous. They have every advantage to be immoral, to make money through those means. You gotta have, because it's like, it's a temptation. It's like you have everything at your fingertips, everything at the click of a button. It's bizarre. It's really bizarre. And it really proves that women should have more, in a sense, more responsibility than men, in a sense, because you have the opportunities that men don't have. Men do not have the opportunities to get in relationships or have sex like women do, and this should be obvious. Any woman who's trying to tell you, oh, it's all equal, no, it's not. Women are the ones who are being chased. Women are the ones who are being doted on. Women are the ones who are being spoiled with splurging, gold digging money and all that crap, right? They're the ones who get all the attention, who get asked out. If a guy doesn't put in the work and go ask women out and learn how to talk to women, et cetera, he gets nothing. He gets nothing. And so this is just a sick world, and so it makes sense why a lot of guys are timed out, why a lot of guys are just like, oh, I'm MGTOW, or I'm just being alone, and I'm just gonna enjoy my independence. Women are shit, That makes sense. Absolutely, it totally makes sense because you're in a competitive market. So my whole point is let's just be honest about it. Let's be honest about what this really is. This is a system, or I should say a culture. It's a way that groups of people are behaving. And again, I'm not saying nobody's getting married. I'm not saying nobody's really falling in love, but I just don't see it. I see a lot of situationships in even marriages that are situationships. And how I define a situationship is, it's a exchange. It's like a bartering. It's like an elongated bartering process where, like, the man is providing and the woman is giving him intimacy, and it's like this prostitution thing. And I've said this ad nauseum forever on my channel, but anyway, yeah, man, where's the love? Where's the equality when it comes to relationships? Where's the equality for men? Who's advocating for men? Are women, standing up for men? I don't think so. It's just, you get to a point where you see through it and you realize men are getting the short end of the stick. They're timed out. They're timed out. They you got like a little period within from age 20 to age 25. You got a little period, and then past that, you're just dealing with used goods women. You're dealing with damaged women. You're dealing with women who've got a lot of baggage. You're dealing with women who slept around, imagine a woman having 5 relationships before you. That's 5 times. And I'm not saying women, it goes both ways. Imagine anyone having a relationship before they met you. That means they've been in love, had bad emotions, had maybe problems, had a bad breakup, all this baggage. And not only that, when you're giving your love away, and you're okay here, I love this guy for 2 years, and then we broke up, and I was single for 6 months where I went and slept around a bunch, and then I met this other guy, and then I dated him for 5 years, and it didn't work out, and now I went, then I went back to the clubs and hooked up with a bunch of guys, and now I'm trying to find another relationship. It's like you're mild out. You've got a ton of experience, and it's not good experience. It's experience that you exercised your lust. You sowed to your flesh. You sowed your wild oats, and there's consequences for that. Your emotions are damaged. I don't buy into this theory that, oh, it's fine, you can just meet somebody, it's like, no, you carry shit with you. You carry damage. And even if you have gotten over it, and I don't know if there's such a thing as full healing. Maybe there is, maybe, but again, you're giving yourself away to different partners. And I hope people can be redeemed, but you're disrespecting your future partner because you are damaging yourself. You're putting yourself out there, and you're sharing with other people what is supposed to be uniquely for that special person. You're giving that away to other guys, right? That's a disrespect to your future husband, and women don't think that way because it's solipsism. It's all about me. The world revolves around me, right? Solipsism. They don't give a shit about, even if they're married. I mean, it's a lack of love. They could be married to a guy for 20 years and really they love him, but they might only have 15-20% of love for him, or how much you care, what do you actually do, They're solipsistic. It's all about me. What do I want? And this is why women initiate all the divorces. 80%, 75% of the divorces, 85%, who knows, but when you're so focused on yourself, it's like, damn, dude, help somebody else out, care for somebody else, you're just a black hole, but that's what it is. So they don't care. It's all about me, and I'm a feminist, and feminism told me that, it's my body, my choice, and I can go sleep around. Yeah, okay, but that doesn't exempt you from consequences, right? And it's just disrespectful, man. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, man, guys, and I think we're gonna see this a lot, and they're coming out and saying like 40% of young people are single, 55-60% of young men have never even kissed a girl, or some, men under 25 have never even asked a girl out, or some crazy number. And it's like, yeah, that's because of the internet, but it's also because of women. It's because of they don't understand that they're changing the market. They're changing the dating game with this nonsense, with this crappy behavior. It's just a reality. It's just what we're living in, and so it's like, I guess let's just call it what it is. Let's just tell the truth. And this is what women hate. They hate the truth. They hate to just be objective because they want the benefits. They want all the benefits, which is understandable. It's understandable. I'm not saying it's right, but it's understandable. So they'll put out all kinds of lies. Oh yeah, there's no problem sleeping around. Oh yeah, you can sleep around and still have love, and you can get what it's like, all these lies. There's consequences in life, man. Choices have action. Actions have reactions. Actions have consequences. And it changes you. If you're gonna go be a hoe, if you're gonna sleep around, it changes you. It changes your character. It changes your behavior. It changes your thinking. People shouldn't act like, oh, there's no consequences in life. You can do whatever you want and everything's gonna be fine. It's like, no. So this is what young men are going through, and this is what young men are. It's very sad. This is what our society is becoming. It's just this degenerate place where people just sleep around. And if you do settle down, it's all these problems, all these stipulations, all these little caveats, that you didn't know because you didn't realize that she's so emotionally damaged that she can't be consistent, or she can't love you fully, or she can't be, honest or open up with you, and then eventually that's just going to cascade into internal issues, internal problems in your relationship, and probably she's the one who's going to walk away because she's like, I just don't feel like we have this or that, and she's not even going to take accountability for her role in that. She's not going to take accountability for the fact that she's not loving you right. That probably never even crossed her mind because it's all about her. Solipsism, 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 me, in the relationship. This is what I want, So, yeah, there's no answer, man, because I just don't think there's anything this is the result of repealing, this is a result of the 19th Amendment. you know, I don't know what else to say because it's like, we gave you autonomy, we gave you freedom, saying that, implying that we ever controlled you, but, I don't know to what extent socially women were controlled in the past, but we see what they've done with their freedom now, and so it's like, all right, if you want to go be a degenerate, go be a degenerate, but don't piss down my neck and tell me it's raining. Don't tell me it's not degenerate behavior to sleep around. Don't tell me it's not immoral to sleep around. Don't tell me that you're not damaged by doing that. Don't tell me that you're not emotionally scarred and have all these internal issues, because you do. You do. And this is what men are going through, and people are, because there's been so much demonization of men, and feminism as an ideology has been so successful at that. Because of that, I think that men, or excuse me, I should say our culture throws men under the bus. And I do believe it's mostly only in America, because I don't think other cultures even allow feminism. I don't think they even allow that kind of bullshit. And if you look at their cultures, men are men and women are women. It ain't no confusion. There ain't no bullshit. And it's not even like, oh yeah, well, men have these, fuck all that role shit. It's just, you are being what you are, and it is what it is. And if men, want to be men and women want to be women, then they'll do what comes natural. But if they get pumped full of temptation and sin, and like, oh, I'm gonna go, for men it's like, oh, I'm gonna go sleep around, I'm gonna go chase women, I'm gonna go bang a bunch of hoes. And for women it's, I'm gonna go chase men and I'm gonna go bang a bunch of bad boys. And so it's like, if that's your thing, man. But let's be honest about it. Let's not act like that's normal. Let's not act like that's what we should be doing. Let's just be honest about it. Let's just say, hey, this isn't right. I'm doing this immoral thing, and it is what it is. I'm not going to try to normalize it, because that's just stupid and silly. I'm not going to lie about it or play games. It is what it is. I'm immoral, and I got to live with those consequences. It's like, that's accountability. But women can't do that. It's like, oh, we got to blame men. Well, the reason I'm single is because of men, and because of men. It's like bullshit. Bullshit. You're the problem, and you are the one who's created your own little world. And if you don't have a husband, you don't have a solid love in your life, and you got your tits out, and you're naked on social media, like, it's obvious to everyone. Anybody who's got half a brain is going to look at that and be like, yeah, you're not living like you should be living. You're advertising yourself. You're selling yourself. You're marketing yourself for whatever benefits: attention, likes, money, free drinks, free dinner, whatever, dates, sex, relationships, all the benefits that come from women advertising themselves. That's why they do it, period. A woman walking down the street with her tits out, with a shirt that's advertising her big old tits, she's trying to get something. That ain't, oh, I dress like this for me. No, you don't. You don't. Sorry. I dress like this for me. Yeah, for you, because it gives you self-esteem that everybody's gawking at you. So it's just dumb. These stupid arguments. It's like, really? You got your ass out in these yoga pants, or you got these little Daisy Dukes on where it exposes half your ass for you because that's just comfortable for you. It's like, go fuck yourself. Like, don't lie to me. Don't try to patronize. Don't piss down my neck and tell me it's raining, bro. For real. We're not stupid anymore. Guys are waking up, and I hope so, because the simps are horrible, and they just make everything so much worse. Stop simping, man. Call them out. Tell them the real truth. The real truth is that, hey, your behavior's not cool. Sure, we all like sex. Yeah, let's go get laid. Ha ha ha. Great, great. But no, the truth is that people need families. They need relationships. They need love. They need solid companionship, friendship from a woman who they love. These type of things are necessary, and there needs to be healthy communication, healthy love styles, etc. And it's a process, and that's why it's a commitment. That's why you take vows. It's so bananas, because people think like, oh, I get married, it's to benefit me, and if it's not constantly benefiting me, then this isn't what I thought marriage was. It's like, well, no shit. You got to work at it. That the person you married is actually a human being with problems, because everybody's got problems, and the person you married is actually a human being who's not perfect and who is not going to make you feel amazing 24/7. And it's just like, that's how fucking spoiled women have become, because men have just been doting on them and giving them everything, and they've just exploited it. They've exploited men. They've exploited men's attraction to them. They've exploited the whole system that is really all about them. Men go work crazy careers so they can have a family. It's not so they can be selfish and live their boss life and live their best life. That's not why men do what they do for a career. It's so they can have a family, so they can provide, and yes, it's so they can survive. But no, that's the whole that's the bedrock foundation of what it is to be a human being in this fucked up world that you need money to survive in, right? It's about family, period. Why would men go and build cabins in the woods and hunt deer and grow crops? It's not just to, yes, it's to sustain themselves, but it's for men want family, men want women, and women want men too. Women want family too, but it's different. It's different because a man's love is sacrificial and a woman's love is selfish. It's all about her. And she'll pretend, and women do this, and they gaslight themselves, really. They're like, oh, I've been so sacrificial for my man. And what she really means is, like, she thinks she could get a guy who's a millionaire, and she's sacrificing her life for this guy who makes $50K a year or something. Like, to her, that's a sacrifice, because she thinks she's so pretty that she can get a rich guy. It's just like, and then that stresses her out. She's like, I've sacrificed so much for you. And it's just like, what exactly have you done? What exactly have you done? Are women buying flowers for men? Are women taking men on dates? Are women sending love letters to men? Are women calling men first and initiating conversation first? Are women chasing men? Most of the time, no. And if she is, it's because he's a bad boy and he's playing hard to get, and he's learned how to play the game, and he's learned how to turn her on and make her feel a certain way, and he's just playing her emotions. So I don't know, man. It's a crazy game. It's a crazy game out here. It's you feel like you want to educate, and you feel like, hey, people need to start talking about this, and parents need to raise their daughters better, and keep them away from all these ideologies, keep them away from feminism, keep them away from liberalism, even conservative, even politics in general, keep them away from all that shit, even church, keep them away. I mean, church is, it's hard for me to say that, but it's like, it's so fucked up. There's so many churches that are just fucked up. Instill in them morals, instill in them the pursuit of God in a personal way. right? These type of things. Instill in them reasoning and the ability to really know right from wrong, and the ability to, you know, have a good character and things like that, to be honest, have integrity. All these things are so important, and nobody talks about them. Nobody talks about this type of shit. And it's so important. And it's like, why are we not talking about this? Why is this not taught in schools? Why is character lessons not taught in schools? Why is moral lessons not taught in schools? Because they don't care about those things. They're just trying to make you a worker. They're just trying to make you a slave. They're just trying to make you docile and obedient. Trying to train you how to work a 9 to 5. That's all. They're just trying to make you a little cog in the wheel. That's all school is. So we can't rely on school. You know, it should be better, but it's not. You got to do it at home. You got to be self-taught, self-made type of thing. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I think I made my point. It's sad for men out here. It's sad that so many men are lonely, which really means there's so many, you know, women are lonely too. These women aren't happy, you know. I don't care. You know, they can put on a good. Women are really good at making you think a certain thing about them. They're really good at making you think, oh, I'm fine, I'm good, everything's good, and they hide that. They hide the pain. They hide the crying. They hide the loneliness. A woman who's just getting banged and she's just getting used, she's lonely. But you're lonely in your own doing, because that's what you chose, because you didn't want to love the guy who all he had to offer you was his heart. You didn't want to love that guy. You wanted to love the dude who didn't really care about you that much, because that excited you, because all the other guys wanted to love you, and they all wanted to treat you kindly, and they all, you know, and that turned you off because it was boring. But this guy's different. He's got other women. He's you know, it's just weird. It's just the same old shit. It's the same old fucking storybook, fucking playbook, I should say. It's the same old behavior playbook. It's just their nature. I don't know, that they're just fucked up, and somebody has to come along and be like, hey, look, don't do that. Don't listen to feminism. Don't go be immoral. Don't listen to your nature or whatever, because it's obviously fucked up. It ain't working. If you think you're so, you know, alpha seed, beta need, you know, alpha fucks, beta bucks, sleep around with the bad boys and settle down with the docile, you know, simps who provide for you. It's like, that shit's played out, man. Don't act like, oh, I want love and oh, I'm just so, you know, all men want is sex. They're not romantic. It's like bullshit. A man will fucking go fight a war for a woman if he really loves her, and if he thinks she's worthy. But the problem is that these women aren't worthy anymore. They're not pure. Their love isn't sitting there waiting for you to come around, and they got a high body count. They're all damaged and messed up. It ain't, you know, it ain't nice out there like people might think. It ain't, you know, or like that, like women want you to think that, like, oh, I'm doing great. It's like, okay, where's your husband? Oh, really? You know, is he a simp? You know, some of these women out here, these feminists online or whatever, who are talking shit about men, they got husbands, but their husbands are a simp. So they're like, well, you know, I'm not some cat lady. I got a husband. It's like, okay, but he's a simp. He's a weak, emasculated man, and you're a domineering type of bitch, you know? And it's just like, that's not a good life. That's not normal. That's not the archetype. That's not the example that we all want to follow. So, lots got to change, man, but I'm just here to talk about it. Anyway, appreciate you listening. Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.